Hello. On arrive à la fin. Hein. Donc, ah, mais ils attendent tout ça, ces cochons. Ils sont les documents, la salle d'interrogatoire.
Look, I found Werner.
Ouais, je m'en fous. Voilà. Voilà les pièces du dossier. Je sous-signé Santos Pinchetti atteste de mon témoignage signalant un meurtre suspecté au manoir Manchios dans le Grand Sarré. Alors que la maisonnée s'affairait aux préparatifs de la fête, j'ai entendu des bruits terribles provenant de la salle de l'hôtel qui était fermée. Immédiatement, j'ai pensé un sacrifice de quelques êtres vivants orchestré par Kurt Manchot aux personnes venait d'avoir lieu. Je voyais déjà le sang sur les murs, des symboles étranges, un poignard dans le cœur. Dès l'instant où j'ai retrouvé l'usage de mes facultés, je me suis précipité au poste de police afin d'y apporter mes observations. La police a réagi à la déposition en envoyant une patrouille, tandis que le témoin a quitté le poste pour entrer chez lui. On l'a pas croisé encore, Pinocchio. À la suite d'un signalement donné par un témoin ayant assisté au rituel satanique et qui aurait en outre découvert un corps, la descente sur le manoir Manchos a été autorisée. Celle-ci a entraîné l'arrestation de plusieurs suspects et la dispersion du groupe d'individus portant masques et robes surpris au milieu d'actes grossièrement indécents et contre nature. Le corps de la victime a été retrouvé étendu sur un autel avec une blessure au couteau au niveau de la poitrine. Les agents de police ont identifié le mort, Fabio, un artiste de charme local, âgé de 20 ans. Suspect appréhendé, Vogel avait sur sa personne une lettre de caractère injurieux écrite par la victime. Il prétend avoir trouvé le corps. M. Vogel est réputé pour sa personnalité excentrique. Sherlock Holmes possédait l'arme du crime, une dague imprégnée du sang de la victime, ainsi que d'autres objets d'intérêt. M. Lhomme a été convié à la soirée par le principal suspect, M. Vogel, a priori dans le but d'entraver l'enquête officielle. Monsieur Manchios, le propriétaire du manoir et organisateur de la soirée satanique, a payé la victime pour participer au rituel, avait accès à la scène du crime. Matista, la partenaire de Fabio et autres participantes au rituel, a essayé de s'échapper et a résisté lors de l'arrestation, possédait un livre contenant une description du rituel exécuté dans la salle de l'hôtel. Plusieurs invités ont été placés en détention provisoire pour interrogatoire approfondi. Qu'est-ce?
Back on track to solve the case.
Le détenteur de ce ticket est autorisé à examiner toutes les preuves relatives à l'affaire 62-60. Merci mon brave. Hop là, on va pas les mentaler. Merde. Non. Pinchetti est un suspect qui doit être arrêté et interrogé. Il possédait une clé, détail qu'il a omis à sa déposition. Tout à fait. Ah mais... Oh, il y a tellement de trucs. Oh là 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 là. Mais t'es qui toi? Salut Bobby.
Good day, Mr. Manchios. I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers. The new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy, after all.
I need to examine you first.
Porte du maquillage. Irritation due à la teinture. C'est trop vite laver les mains. Ah. Oh. Dans la panique. Est-ce qu'il aurait buté quelqu'un et s'est vite lavé les mains et s'est changé? Chaussures très chères. Kurt Moncho est extrêmement riche, excentrique et frivole. Il est l'organisateur des soirées réservées à l'élite cordonnaise et le propriétaire du manoir Manchios. Il passe ses journées à côtoyer d'autres nantis dans son genre. Toutefois, M. Manchios désire cacher son âge véritable aux plus jeunes hôtes de ses soirées. Son vieillissement l'obsède à tel point qu'il porte du maquillage et se teint les cheveux pour se retirer quelques années. Kurt Manchios, nanana. Toutefois, sa sociabilité a fait de lui un homme obnubilé par la propreté. Il se teint les cheveux pour relever son apparence et utilise tant de produits chimiques pour faire sa toilette que sa peau en soit abîmée. Non, c'est ça. Dissimule
You
son
are a
âge.
little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
For people of my age, it isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and grey flecks. I have to adapt.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails. Are you so impatient, or perhaps even impulsive?
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you.
Wow, calme-toi.
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true labourers, I see. Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as your special guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either say or hear.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my party.
What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits? Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be sobbing.
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used to opening their wallets as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his services.
Eh ben, se fout pas chier.
You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much
Ta
about.
gueule!
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchios?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me.
Mais non, c'est
in
pas moi,
here.
t'es un ouf.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos? But how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the police.
On verra, on verra, on verra.
You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone
Someone
else.
else. You
That's
better
not
ask
something I know
someone
much
else.
about. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about
Ouais,
that.
ouais.
I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about.
Ouais,
You better
on va
ask
utiliser
someone
tous les
else.
sujets, on sait jamais.
That's not something I know much about.
Le bouton de manchette, il va me dire un truc.
You bought
Voilà.
an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive show?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protégé and my beacon
Mon
also.
protégé.
With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Bon, bah, on a utilisé tous les sujets. Y'a pas des trucs cachés? Bon, on a le palais mental. Il y a Vogel. T'es qui, toi? Après, c'est laver le corps. Hop là, attraper la petite muche. Kurt Manchos a rincé le sang qui figurait sur son corps après le meurtre de Fabio. Quoi? Mais comment il peut se laver si c'est l'autre qui fait le meurtre? C'est pas clair. Non! Non mais arrête! Ah! Manchos est préparé pour la débauche. Kurt Manchos est soigneusement préparé pour la soirée de débauche qui comptait penser. Ah oui, non, oui. C'est Pinchetti. Non, j'ai confondu Pinchetti et Fabio. Non, il s'est vite lavé les mains. Je sais pas, l'intuition. Merde. Ok. Salut, t'es qui?
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Ah, un tatouage. Bon, je lève. Tatouillage. Occulte en plus. Occulte focus. Nerveuse. Oh. Elle se scarifie. Hop là. Vieille à peine visible. Oh, c'était une esclave. Oui, c'était une esclave apparemment. Bon, où s'est caché le reste? Ah là. Hématome gorgé de sang, récemment affligé. Oh, il en manque un. Là. Ah. Eh mais Fabio, il avait ça aussi. Marqué au fer chaud, c'est un esclave aussi. Matista, l'artiste de charme et partenaire de Fabio, a connu une vie difficile. Devenue esclave et marquée en tant que telle alors qu'elle n'était encore qu'une enfant, elle fit la rencontre de Fabio au cours de ses années de servitude, ce qui explique pourquoi celui-ci porte le même stigmate. Ces vieilles cicatrices sont le produit de l'asservissement qu'elle a subi à l'adolescence. Aujourd'hui encore, ces terribles souvenirs continuent de la hanter. Elle porte un intérêt véritable au mysticisme, comme en témoignent les tatouages aux symboles occultes qui parsèment son corps. Matista s'efforce de surmonter son passé, et sa vie d'artiste de charme semble lui offrir une chance de gagner de l'argent pour elle-même. Nanana, servitude, explique pourquoi stigmate, féminisme, cicatrice, servissant. Aujourd'hui encore, c'est terrible souvenir. Hein. Matista semble avoir adopté une approche pragmatique à l'égard de son corps, prétend d'années de ses vices. Elle se vend aux invités qui disposent d'elle selon leur bon vouloir. Il n'existe aucune limite qu'elle craint de dépasser. Enfin, Matista a tatoué son corps en divers endroits. Mais pourquoi elle se punirait pour son passé? C'est pas pour son passé. Ouais, vas-y.
Fabio and yourself were slaves, am I correct? You have a similar branding on your body.
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Couldn't help but also notice fresh cuts upon your forearms.
The cuts helped me to forget my past, to cover the old wounds and hide them.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Gordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
D'accord. Bon, il nous reste Vogel à aller voir. Non mais... Oh! Corps de Matista présente des hématomes résultant des interactions brutales avec les invités lors de la soirée. Oui, tout à fait. Ah bon? Fabio a blessé maintenant. Non. Je vais lui faire confiance. Faire confiance à la petite. Un anniversaire, petit. Quelqu'un là-dedans? Pourquoi celle-là elle s'ouvre, mais pas les autres? Au secours! Ah. Regardez-moi cette tekken.
Werner, are you all right?
Oh, yes, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free you.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
Répondre. Non.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Lui qui parle de
Really?
justice, tout ça.
How many
nanana.
white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
Bien sûr qu'on va réussir. Je suis Sherlock Holmes.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I
Et
can't
tu
follow you here.
tu
I don't
sais
think
pas
I can tell
grand-chose,
you
toi,
anything
connard.
about this. I don't think I can tell
T'es
you
chiant, mais
anything
tu
about
connais
this.
rien, tu sais
I'm
rien.
not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you
Ouais.
anything about this. I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti,
Do I know him?
the major domo of the manor.
Et
He cleans up
Domo?
after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
Quoi, c'est tout?
I know you can untangle this mess.
Ah, oh, 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 oh. Santos, faut que je trouve Santos. Voilà. C'est par
This
là?
area is restricted.
Pourquoi? Oh yeah, yeah, ouais, yeah, yeah, yeah. Salut.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this. You'd
Ouais,
better
ouais,
ask me a question I know how to
Tu vas me
answer.
parler, tu veux fermer ta gueule.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this. You'd better
Mais-
ask me a question I know how to answer.
Have you
Ah.
considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him.
Merci,
Stay
mon
here.
brave.
They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, our men said.
Thank you.
Gracias, mon brave. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. C'est bien bruyant aujourd'hui au poste de police. Hop là.
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder. What a bunch of degenerates. Wait a second. I'll bring it to the table.
Merci. Ouh là là. Mais calmez-vous. Calmez-vous, les sbires. La drogue.
An emergency kit for boredom.
La lettre qui figurait parmi les preuves à charge de Vogel. As-tu perdu la raison? Tu n'es pas capable de contrôler ton propre ressentiment. En tout cas, pas en ma présence. Quant à moi, je ne peux pas me permettre d'ignorer ce genre de comportement. Je me lie, m'entretiens et me divertis avec qui bon me semble. Je ne suis pas une autre Matista. Tu me payes, mais tu ne m'as pas acheté. Naturellement, je compte garder tous tes dons généreux, même s'il pardonne à peine ton dernier accès abject comme il était. Je te quitte, mais Matista, elle, restera encore ici.
Not the time for privacy.
Rien de... Attends, c'était jaune. Là.
Werner's personal sketchbook.
Ouais, rien d'autre. Ok. C'est quoi?
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone. A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
Ah, c'est Kurt. Kurt Douglas.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring.
Ok. 6, 7, 8, 9. Ok. The Power of Love.
A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings.
Mais arrête. Merci.
Her key to the altar room. That's not for bedtime reading. This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library.
La police a trouvé ce livre occulte dans le sac de Matista lors de son arrestation. Selon Lex Libris, le tome en question a été pris dans la collection de Monsieur Manchos. Il renferme des illustrations ainsi que des descriptions détaillant un rituel similaire à celui observé sur la scène du crime. Préparer le corps nu d'un être bien-aimé ayant récemment péri. Ah! Tracer les symboles de Mars et de Vénus pour amplifier le pouvoir qui réside en vous et invoquer les forces des natures masculines et féminines. Transpercez-lui le cœur à l'aide d'une dague dorée afin de vous débarrasser du sang qui ne vous aime point. Tracez un symbole représentant votre amour en attendant la résurrection. Récitez le charme. Pardon. Alors effectivement, il y avait bien les symboles de Mars et de Vénus. Il était à poil, alors est-ce que c'est pas Matista qui aurait préparé le corps pour essayer de le ressusciter? Parce que sur lui, avec le sang du type, il y avait un cercle.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Thank you, officer.
Pourquoi le tuer pour essayer de le ressusciter? C'est bizarre, hein. Je suis mort, nanana, nanana. Voilà, il était à Walp. Voilà. Mais ouais, pour... il est où l'autre rituel? On n'a pas le... Merde. Parce que le livre du rituel pour faire du sexe, il va aussi Vénus et Mars. Salut. C'est quoi ces conneries?
So, the police found a letter from Fabio in your pocket.
I cannot tell if it was truly in my pocket at all. Perhaps it was placed there later.
Well, that is one hypothesis. If it were true, then how did it get there?
No clue. But this night has been rather eccentric. Such a detail could have easily eluded me.
Indeed. Do you recall reading it?
I can't remember that either. But I tend to respect privacy. Reading others' personal notes is not one of my perversities.
Ah! Attends. Le pouvoir de l'amour. Salut!
Let's continue our chat
No.
a little later.
Salut! Oh, il y a tellement de choses.
I've nothing to add.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so.
Oh, il y a
I
d'autres
don't
trucs
know
à
what to
interroger.
say.
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection?
Sorcière!
For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift,
Ah,
and
oui,
I'm learning to
survive.
use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
Ok. On va faire du palais mental. Le meurtrier s'est lavé. Power of Love. Non, mais je me trompe toujours. Matista a peut-être exécuté... Pardon. Matista a peut-être exécuté le rituel sur Fabio dans le but de raviver l'amour que ce dernier lui portait jadis. De toute façon, ils allaient baiser. Donc c'est vite réglé. Non mais... Ok. Ok. Ah. Je peux parler de ça avec d'autres. Tu connais ça?
That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that.
I've read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
I'm sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
Cochon. Bon, il est où l'autre abruti là? Ça va aller plus vite si je fais ça. Ah, bah, il a toutes les clés, comme c'est étrange.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
Sur un bref message joint au testament, on peut lire « Santos, mollusque plein d'espoir que tu es. Tu m'as supplié de t'inclure dans mon testament, alors je me suis exécuté. Voici donc la dernière révision du document en question. Kurt. » Le texte du testament lui-même en dessous du message. Santos Pinchetti, le majordome du manoir Monchos, recevra un pot de cire à moustache, ainsi qu'une lampe de sel, legs par lesquels il se rappellera toujours de son employeur attentif Kurt Monchos. Putain, rapace. En fait, il est blindé, lui. T'as une moustache? On va voir ça.
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
I've already told him
Mais il
everything
a même
I
pas de
know.
moustache.
I'm only a witness, sir. Everything's in my report.
On dirait le Gomez
You
Adams.
forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was intentional.
But I need to return to my duties.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti. Just be still for a few seconds.
Accommodé plusieurs fois. Ah, il y a tes traces. Psoriasis ou allergie. T'as plus d'une fois. T'as mis des patates à qui? Personne apparemment. Ouais, t'as tapé personne. Ah, les chaussures. Oh, du sang. On va marcher dans du sang. Oh, oh. Santos Pinchetti, l'intendant du manoir Monchos. Bien qu'il soit au sommet de la hiérarchie établie dans la maisonnée, il semble pauvre. Son corps portait des signes de psoriasis. Monsieur Pinchetti cache sa peau rongée sous plusieurs couches de maquillage. Le costume du majordome comporte plusieurs trous qui ont été rapiécés ou recousus. Monsieur Pinchetti a notamment teint son habit dans l'espoir de lui redonner un nouveau souffle. Ou soit il est radin en dépit de l'argent qu'il possède, Monsieur Pinchetti limite ses dépenses à outrance. Une couche de maquillage bon marché dissimule les imperfections de son corps. Souhaitant projeter l'image d'un homme moderne, il a aussi teint son costume à plusieurs reprises. Pour économiser davantage encore, le majordome a visiblement rapiécé lui-même une multitude de trous dans son habit. Travaille avec un riche, alors est-ce qu'il est vraiment en difficulté financière? Je pense plus qu'il soit... Je pense qu'il est radin plutôt.
Is your greedy nature responsible for the lack of taste and attention to your appearance? The cheap makeup, shabby and dyed clothes? How do you explain those, Majordomo?
The means to practice my profession are limited. I'm sorry you noticed it, sir.
The parties overshadowed your state. You are lucky Kurt Manchos's attention was concentrated elsewhere. In a decent household, you would be asked to leave for far less.
Yes, his attention was undoubtedly concentrated on something other than my appearance.
But one detail stands out on your dirty rags and shoes. The drops of blood.
Oh, that. I don't know anything about it.
Mais bien sûr.
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning the mess after his performances was tedious. Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading one. The parties were always, Fabio-centric?
And Batista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work without her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests, unlike Fabio, who could pick and choose.
I
know nothing about this. Don't expect me to know anything about it.
Tiens, les testaments.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a major domo?
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And I'm his next of kin. The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love. Cleaning up the filth after perverts and decadents. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a major domo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of the maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. While he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties, he paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting relationship. Please let me out.
T'inquiète, on va régler ça, mon brave. Ouf. Elle peut être destinée à Moncho, selon les dires de Santos Pinchetti et le contenu de la lettre. Il se peut que celle-ci fût adressée à Kurt Douglas. Ah ah! Santos Pinchetti n'a pas remarqué la tache de sang sur le flanc de sa chaussure quand il s'est lavé après le meurtre. Ah ah! Ah, ça c'est bon. Les vains efforts de Santos. Pinchetti a été forcé de travailler pour Kurt Monchos dans l'attente désespérée de recevoir son héritage en 20. 20 sur 20. Pinchetti n'a pas remarqué le sang. Santos Pinchetti n'a pas remarqué la tache de sang sur le flanc de sa chaussure quand il s'est lavé après le meurtre. Santos Pinchetti a peut-être marché par accident dans le sang au moment de découvrir la scène du crime. Ok. Testament, lettre de Fabio. Ah bah, décidément, tout se fait ici.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
C'est vrai qu'il était... Ils ont tous pris des substances cheloues. Hein. Werner! Dis-moi ça.
I can't follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
Tu vas
I don't
m'épuiser
think I can
tout,
tell
comme
you
ça on sait
anything about
jamais.
this. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here.
Voilà.
I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know
voilà
anything
la
about
lettre.
this.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchos.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
Touché.
La 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 la. Ok. Vogel, la lettre et son état second. Werner Vogel a pris la lettre lui-même alors qu'il était dans un état second, engendré par diverses substances. Ah. C'était tout le temps avec, alors ça peut être possible ça. Sauvegarde. À qui devons-nous parler? Bah tiens, on va...
I've nothing to say. I don't know
Mais
what
si
to
t'as rien à
say.
dire, tu vas
I don't
m'aider.
know what to say. I've
Comme
nothing
ça,
to
j'aurais
say.
tout épuisé. Ouais,
I've nothing
je
to
sais
add.
pas.
I've nothing to add.
I've nothing
nothing
to
to say.
add.
I've nothing to add. I don't know
D'accord.
what to say.
I've
I've
nothing
nothing
to
to
add.
add.
I don't know what to say. I nothing to
I've
add.
nothing to say. I don't know what to say. I've nothing to say. I've nothing to say. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to say. I've nothing to say. I don't know what to say.
Allez, on y arrive.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchos?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchos?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away. I know I can handle the news.
Bibi. Oh! Alors, Kurt Manchios, le cœur brisé, a cédé à la panique et ne voulait pas tuer Fabio. Le rituel improvisé n'était qu'une tentative désespérée de cacher le crime. Une peine de prison devrait suffire car le vrai châtiment est la perte de son être bien-aimé. Kurt Manchios a tué Fabio de sang-froid et a déguisé son crime en rituel afin d'incriminer Matista et a placé la lettre dans la poche de Vogel pour écarter les soupçons. Il n'a aucune considération pour la vie d'autrui et mérite la potence. Oui.
I appreciate your cooperation, Mr. Manchios. Wait just a moment, I have something to check.
Ça y est. La fin de l'enquête. Monsieur!
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Continue our investigation.
Si je fais ça, ça change. La mort au chichi. Hop là. Il s'est sauvé. Police. Ah non, il est là. Bon, on va essayer les deux fins, du coup.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes, or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
C'était un meurtre prémédité.
The young performer played with your emotions. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You struck him. And then you staged the ritual. You planted the letter in Vogel's pocket and attempted to set up Matista.
What poppycock? Sherlock, stop this game now.
There is no stop word, Mr. Manchios. Relax and enjoy it. I'll pass the remainder of this case to Constable Oswald. He'll know what to do with you.
Ok. Changer la conclusion. Voilà. Alors, mais putain, je me trompe toujours de direction. Nous allons sauvegarder et voir les deux fins de l'affaire. Monsieur!
I have a name for you. Kurt Manchios.
Is that so? The master of the Sabbath?
The man himself. Mr. Manchios couldn't stand to lose control over his lover. A deadly revenge that deserves a proper sentence. I have all the evidence to charge him.
A degenerate and a murderer. I'll make a name thanks to that for sure. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take
Merci, mon
Your
brave.
persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Alors, est-ce qu'on a eu un trophée? Oui. Éphèbe éphémère. Obtenir justice pour Fabio. Ben voilà. Bon, ben en fait, c'est bon, on a eu le trophée.
Don't forget the file.
Bon, pas besoin de voir la seconde fin. Puisqu'il n'y a pas de fin, en fait, il n'y a pas de cinématique. Ah! Non! Merde. Je recommence. Je recommence. Je recommence. J'ai pas lu, je croyais que... Je croyais... Je croyais que je pouvais revenir et continuer l'histoire. Ouais, je vais commencer dehors, bien évidemment. J'ai-je? Non, laissez-moi.
I have a name for you. Kurt Manchios.
Is that so? As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were...
Et voilà qui conclut l'affaire YouTube. Et on se dit à la prochaine. Salut YouTube. On arrive à la fin, la mort d'une mère. On a le dossier ici, là. Qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Des agents ont été dépêchés au manoir de Stonewood pour y constater un décès. La morte, identifiée comme étant Madame Violet Holmes, gisait dans le jardin du manoir. Une inspection visuelle du corps a permis de déterminer que la victime était trempée et portait au cou une profonde entaille verticale et longue de 5 cm. Son visage était gonflé et couvert de rougeur, cause probable de la mort, hypoxychloroquine. En attente de confirmation par le médecin légiste, le suspect principal auto-rejeté a été arrêté sur place. Le corps a été envoyé pour une autopsie.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
Et voilà, on a débloqué la dernière...
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
Whatever the truth, it had to be revealed. The victim deserved it.
Well, you seem confident in the value of your actions. I guess since I'm free, you were heard after all. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Oh, yes. It's a struggle, but yes, we can make our own decisions. That's what I fight for.
What an endless fight it is. Will you ever give yourself a break, Sherlock? You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
Adieu. Ouais, donc je disais, on a débloqué la dernière pièce du manoir. Donc on va aller voir ce qui s'y passe. On va découvrir peut-être la vérité. On va voir pourquoi Otto il a planté maman. N'est-ce pas, Otto? Pourquoi t'as fait ça? Qu'est-ce qu'elle t'a fait?
Sherry, please listen to me. Sherry.
John, I always listen to you.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to go through. I don't know what is beyond this door, but I can feel it. Buzzing, angry, like a fly at the window.
I know. I can sense it too.
You locked away this memory for a reason. There is only pain here.
Pain? And truth.
You do not need to suffer either. There is so much more we can do on Cordona, so many others we can help. There is no coming back from this.
John, my anima, my brother, there is nothing more important in this moment than this truth. I know you fear for me, but my path was set long ago. I can no more step off it than I can ask the avalanche to roll back uphill.
Just... please be careful, Sherry. I love you.
Quite.
Mais ils sont tous...
We'll go together.
C'est tous des folles dans ce jeu. C'est quoi ce délire là? Wow. Pas pécho de la meuf, Sherlock? Wow.
Why didn't I remember we had such a big garden?
Maybe you forgot it for your own good.
Mais pourquoi t'es plus habillé en Adidas?
That's the descendant of a tree your father planted in London, correct?
Indeed, we planted the sprout here, and for a while it grew happily. Alas, it seems without us here to care for it, it didn't survive.
Il jouait. Pourquoi il y a des choux avec des poupées? Là, c'est terrible la maladie. Je crois que je vais vraiment aller chez le docteur. Ça fait 3 semaines que je dis je vais vraiment aller chez le docteur. Pourquoi il court pas? Ça fait 3 semaines que je dis je vais vraiment aller chez le docteur et puis j'y vais pas au final. Oh, une statue.
Ah, yes. The statue of Merope. My mother was trying to restore it. Pity she never had the opportunity to finish.
Le kiosque. Ah, Skip, elle était trempée, donc il y a de la flotte derrière, j'ai vu. Là, il y a des tables. Enfin, il y a une table et des chaises. On y arrive, on y arrive, on y arrive. Hop là. C'est maman qui joue le piano?
Is that the raft we made together, John?
Looks more like a pile of rotten planks now.
J'arrive, maman. Attends 2 secondes. Tiens, pour la peine. Oh, oh. Et c'est vrai qu'il y a... Oh, je peux pas sauvegarder. C'est vrai qu'il y a le palais mental que j'ai jamais fait. Mère s'est noyée. Sa blessure était peut-être une ultime humiliation du tueur. Une tentative désespérée de la sauver. Mère ne s'est pas noyée. La blessure à son cou résultait d'une trachéotomie. Ce qui n'a aucun sens si elle était vraiment en train de se noyer. Quoi? Je sais pas. Maman! Oh! Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Hop là. Merde! Merde, j'ai pas vu. Ah, mais je peux bouger. Je comprenais pas. Au revoir. Bah déjà, il y a embrouille. Maman? Ah, ça c'est moi avec Jean.
Hurry! These must help calm her down.
John!
What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
Elle a fait des
What are you
conneries.
thinking about? Is
Et c'est d'effets secondaires. Richter a soumis Mère à des médicaments peu orthodoxes. Chaque dose avait son lot d'effets secondaires potentiels. Mère prenait souvent des sédatifs, donc son corps les tolérait sûrement bien. Il y avait des effets secondaires. Ouais, c'est probable. Et si je fais l'inverse? Alors pour moi, il y avait les effets secondaires. Parce que la médecine à l'époque...
everything all right? What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
Non, ça va pas. Bon, qu'est-ce que... Elle est où, maman? Elle est dans le kiosque? Ah oui, il y a de la lumière. Ta 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 ta. Ah oui, elle est là. Maman?
Don't go, Mother, wait. Mother's work journal. I liked poring over the detailed pages and reading about my parents' collection. I remember this artifact from Mother's collection.
Ouais, et qu'est-ce que ça apporte? Ça c'est quand ça? Ah, dans le cabinet des curiosités quand John il s'en... Mycroft il s'est embrouillé.
We'll just borrow it for a while.
Hop.
Did you hear that? Someone's coming. Let's take a minute. You call this progress? Charlotte, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
Any result is progress, even if it is a worsening of her condition. It informs my...
No. I have made my decision. She must be sent to a legitimate medical facility. I will not let her hurt Sherlock.
What? Master Holmes, you do not understand.
That will be all. I expect you to have left the house by week's end.
Sherry, say something. Can you hear me? You're scaring me.
Ouais, toi aussi tu parles bizarre.
I'm here, come closer.
Y'a rien dans le palais. Oui maman, j'arrive.
Sherry, come here, darling.
Oui. J'arrive maman. J'espère qu'il n'y a pas un screamer, sinon je pète un câble.
Coming, Mother! This was for my mother, wasn't it? I remember how we came to the garden for a breath of fresh air.
Ah! On a
Take
promené
me to my
maman.
flowers, Sherry. They must already be in bloom.
As you wish, Mum.
Elle a pas l'air si folle que ça.
I bet you missed the fresh air, didn't you?
Terribly. The sun is far brighter than I remember. But I like it.
We can walk each day from now on, if you want.
That would be wonderful.
On approche de l'eau. Non, Sherlock.
Just look at them. The stars of the earth. Even the sky must be jealous of their beauty.
Indeed.
Mais t'approches pas de l'eau. Putain, je peux pas faire marche arrière.
Mother, would you like to go around the water?
That would be perfect. I always wanted such a nice pond in London. It looks so peaceful.
Mycroft knew you would like it.
Putain, il va se passer une dinguerie. Non, s'il te
We
plaît.
should put some fish in it, don't you think?
How about some carp?
That's a nice idea.
Non. Attention, il y a un morceau de bois là. Sherlock, fais pas le con.
Let's visit your father's tree. It grows so fast, just like you.
We could even build a tree house in it.
Yes, Sherry.
Ouais, ça va Sherlock, t'as pas fait de boulette. Bravo.
Speaking of your father, could you call him out, please?
Mom! I'm sorry. He passed away. He's gone.
Ah,
No, he's not.
I'm telling the truth. Did you forget again?
No, don't you dare say such things.
hey,
You are a liar
connasse.
like all the others.
Mother!
Don't call me that. You aren't fooling me.
No! Mum, it hurts!
My son would never lie.
Mum, stop!
Who are you? Reveal yourself.
Please, stop! It's me, Sherlock!
You are not my Sherry. Give me my stuff.
hey. Maman, arrête. Comment on a survécu? Ah, c'est le docteur qui l'a buté. C'est moi qui me suis noyé en fait. Ça va, Sherlock? Oh, on arrive à la fin. Mère a essayé de me noyer dans l'étang du manoir. Ouais. Maman, c'est pas bien. Ah, il m'a protégé, autorité. John et moi sommes responsables. Mère est morte d'une réaction allergique provoquée par les sédatifs. Ah non, 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 non. Mère est morte d'une réaction allergique provoquée par les sédatifs que nous lui avons donnés avec son thé le matin. Richter a essayé de la sauver. Pourtant, Mycroft l'a accusé de l'avoir tuée. Alors que John et moi étions responsables. Ah. C'est ouais, c'est bizarre. Elle a pas été noyée, c'est moi qui a été noyé. Non, c'est pas correct. Elle s'est pas noyée. Réaction allergique. Ouais, peut-être ça l'a rendu. Mais John, il est imaginaire. Donc c'est pas John déjà. Mère est morte d'une réaction allergique provoquée. Richter a essayé de la sauver. Pourtant, Mycroft l'a accusé de l'avoir tuée. Alors que John et moi étions responsables. J'ai tué Mère sans le savoir. L'idée de lui donner des sédatifs venait de John. Ce qui veut dire que je ne peux pas me fier à mon propre esprit. Pour espérer me soigner, je dois me débarrasser de John. Mycroft a dissimulé la vérité pour me protéger. Oh, je suis responsable de la mort de Mère. C'était mon idée de lui donner des médicaments qui a provoqué la réaction allergique. Qui l'a tué. Je suis coupable, Mycroft. Je peux pas sauvegarder. Non. Mais comment je peux faire pour... Alors ce qu'on va faire YouTube, c'est qu'on va essayer peut-être toutes les fins. Mais elle est pas morte noyée. Pour moi, c'est clair. John n'est pas le tueur, il est imaginaire. Et c'est vrai que dans les souvenirs, c'est lui qui me dit... C'est parce qu'on a la maladie héréditaire. Allez. J'ai sauvegardé avant, je crois. Donc on va faire toutes les fins.
Sherlock, can you hear me? Come on, wake up.
Get off me.
Sherry,
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
you couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
You. It was your idea. The sedative, that was you.
She was hurting us. Sherry, I couldn't bear to see you suffer.
So you killed my mother. My worst impulses, my darkest thoughts, they're you. You were a lie, John, a fiction, a crutch.
No, I was a friend. Sherlock, please.
Sherlock?
What?
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I told you not to come, Sherlock. Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this worth it? Is he worth it?
Why is he here?
I think, in his own way, he was trying to protect me. A truth I couldn't bear. But now I must face it.
Whoa, 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 Sherry. What are you doing?
There is only one way through.
Through what? What do you mean?
My entire life, my work, my mind, has been compromised by a malignant force, by a perversion of rationality. By you, John. You're a tumor. You're a poison.
Sherlock.
And like a tumor, you must be excised for the health of the patient.
No. No, this is the lie, Sherry. I protected you. I am your friend, your brother. You know me. You know me. I was always there for you. When your mother lashed out, I took the hit. When you were alone, I held you. She was sick. She needed to calm down. I helped her.
You killed her.
No. Yes. No. But it was not meant. Please. Please. I'm scared.
Ben voilà.
Are you all right?
I think, on the balance of things, no.
That is good news. To be unaffected by today's events would place you in a different pathology entirely. Your time on Cordona is over, Sherlock. Tomorrow we shall board a vessel back to London, and all this, it stays here.
He's gone, Mycroft. I needed to take control. He would help me, but it was a lie because but he's gone. I knew he was wrong. Do you see? I am free. I just had to act.
Yes. In that respect, you are your mother's son.
Why are you here?
Closure, I suppose. And to help a friend.
You and I are not friends. In a race between the thawing of the ice caps and our friendship, I would buy a boat.
Ha! Is that right?
I can see it now. I know what you did.
What did I do?
You needled me. From the moment we met, you were searching for weakness. You pushed me to pursue the truth about my mother. You questioned everything I did, everything I believed, to break me. To blur truth and fiction, reality, morality. A saboteur in silk. Was it vengeance, Vernon? Or do you prefer Klaus? Excuse me? You are Klaus Richter, Otto's younger brother. hold me responsible for his end?
Ha! There was no love lost between me and my brother. I am sure you can relate. Otto was merely the gravity that pulled me into your orbit. Or you into mine. Once I met you, I could not keep away.
Why? What reason do you have for all this?
To help you.
You're lying.
To show you that you were wrong.
More lies. I know you now, Werner. Try again.
To see what had happened. Or is that yet another untruth? Does it matter? Take your pick. Who cares? You're my masterpiece. I turned Sisyphus into Ozymandias. You could not see the futility of your quest until I helped you to let go of the rock. And now, nothing beside remains.
I remain. Despite you, and to spite you.
It is a matter of will and power now. Will you overcome this, or shall you decay? Oh, on that note, I brought you something.
I want nothing more from you.
When one wants for nothing, Sherlock, the best thing to get them is something personal. So, here you are. Now, please excuse me, but the gallery calls. I'm already conceiving my next project.
Ah, c'est elle dans Death Note.
You
Incroyable.
really are beautiful.
I am all right. I returned to London and enrolled at Cambridge University. Their professors leave something to be desired, or perhaps I simply lack the interest in all but a few lectures. I prefer to spend my time at the local hospital pursuing things of practical use. Medical research, chemical tests and the like. Empirical truths. I try not to think about you. I try not to think about anyone unless it is in the course of an investigation. I've started to help people with their menial mysteries. It keeps the mind occupied. I cannot risk otherwise. I'm not like her. I'm not like you. I am all right. I found it! I found it! I found it!
And what is that?
John Watson, le vétéran de guerre, le vrai John.
How far, bruises may be produced after death. How are you? You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive.
How on earth did you know that?
Never mind. The question now is about bruising. No doubt you see the significance of this discovery of mine.
It is interesting, no doubt, but practically...
Why, it is the most practical medico-legal discovery for years. Had we these data sooner, hundreds of men would have paid the penalty for their crimes. Cases oft hinge upon how a man died. Now, we can know which wounds he suffered alive, which occurred post-mortem, and what instrument was responsible. And ergo, one will soon be able to calculate with utmost precision when and where death occurred, sparing the innocent and damning the guilty.
Well, then you are to be congratulated.
Indeed. But, you came here on business.
Correct again. I am looking for someone with whom to take diggings, and heard you were complaining that you could get no one to go halves with you.
I have my eye on a suite in Baker Street, which would suit us down to the ground. You don't mind the smell of strong tobacco, I hope?
I smoke ships myself.
Et dans la série
That's
aussi.
good enough. I get in the dumps at times, and don't open my mouth for days on end. Just let me alone, and I'll soon be right. What have you to confess now? It's best for two fellows to know what bruises each other carries before they begin to live together. My last companion and I...
Well, I object to rows because my nerves are shaken.
and I get up at all sorts of ungodly hours, and I am extremely lazy. I have another set of vices when I'm well, but those are the principal ones at present.
Do you include violin playing in your category for route?
It depends on the player. A well-played violin is a treat for the gods. A badly played one.
Oh, no, that's all right. I think we may consider the thing as settled. Oh, forgive my manners. My attention wavers. Sherlock Holmes.
John Watson.
John.
Wow, incroyable! Et on enchaîne avec une étude en rouge. Rouge ou rose? Ça dépend, je crois, de la... Je sais plus. Je crois que ça dépend de la trad. YouTube, ce qu'on va faire, vous allez voir des coupures parce que je vais essayer les différentes fins. Et puis voilà, c'est cool. Je vous laisse les crédits. Et après, je couperai, je mettrai les différentes fins. Je pense... Non, la tasse... pas besoin de laisser le dialogue de la tasse, je pense. Il se remémorer juste le passé. Alors, est-ce qu'il y aura un chapter 2 un jour? C'est une bonne question. Pourquoi me... Après, ouais, c'est de la triche, j'allais dire pourquoi ne pas adapter les enquêtes de ces romans en jeu. Mais c'est de la triche, t'as juste à les lire et puis c'est gagné. Ou soit tu regardes la série, tu sais ce qui se passe. Donc c'est triché, donc ouais, faut trouver d'autres histoires, tout ça. En vrai, le jeu, si tu fais pas des quêtes secondaires, etc., le jeu, il est vite réglé. Après, il y a les zones grisées, qui à mon avis sont pour les DLC, je pense. Mais bon, DLC, je crois que ça coûte, ils sont à 30 balles. Donc voilà, c'est pas ouf. J'ai pas 30 balles à donner pour les DLC. Mais bon, on va voir les autres fins. Il est déjà minuit 40. Oh, putain, est-ce que je fais ça tout de suite, les autres fins? Si j'arrive à passer vite. Après, il met du temps à marcher avec son bidule, là. C'est chiant. Et on peut même pas sauvegarder avant. Ça fait chier, dommage, dommage. Est-ce que mon jeu a été envoyé? Normalement, je le reçois vendredi, donc il aurait dû être envoyé aujourd'hui. Eh ben non. Est-ce que je l'aurai vendredi? Je ne sais pas. Précommande. Chrono poste une livraison, j'ai plus de. Ah, je sais pas. Hein. L'arrivée du jeu est prévue pour vendredi 18 octobre. On verra bien. On verra. Y a-t-il une scène post-crédit? Je ne pense pas, vu la fin qu'on vient d'avoir. Mais dans le doute... m'habite. Vadim Briet. Ouais, c'est fini déjà. Bon, YouTube. Minuit 22. Bon, c'est parti. On va essayer les autres fins. Oh, mais ça va aller vite. Ça va aller vite, tout compte fait. J'ai tué Mama. Voilà, est-ce qu'on va avoir les mêmes discours?
Sherlock. Sherlock.
On va le découvrir tout de suite.
Can you hear me?
Est-ce qu'il va le tuer, John?
Wake up.
Comment il va faire s'il tue pas John, s'il va rencontrer John Watson? Qu'est-ce qui va se passer?
Get off me.
Sherry.
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
You couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
I killed my own mother, John. It is unforgivable.
It was an accident, Sherlock. She was mad, abusive. You were a child, simply trying to help.
How could I? How could she? You were a lie, John. A fiction. A crutch.
No, I was a friend. Sherlock, please.
Sherlock?
What?
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I told you not to come, Sherlock.
À côté de toi.
Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this worth it? Is he worth it?
Why is he here?
I think,
Ouais, ils ont
in
chié.
his own way, he was trying to protect
Il est en 2 FPS. Est-ce qu'il va
Truth I couldn't
clignoter?
bear.
Est-ce
But
que c'est un
now I
bug
must
quand il
face it.
clignote? J'ai l'impression que oui.
There is only one thing to be done.
What are you talking about?
To expect adherence to the principles of truth and justice, but to fail to hold oneself likewise accountable, it would be hypocrisy. My mother died by my hand. I must turn myself into the authorities and face the consequences of my actions.
The consequences of your actions? You were a child. She did this to you, not you unto her. You are throwing your life away in an act of moralistic vanity. Think of all you could accomplish for our nation.
This is where we differ, Mycroft. To you, the ends justify the means. To me, the means have decided the end. The truth is the truth.
Fine, Sherlock. Walk yourself into the police station and pray those men you oft embarrassed hold no grudges. If you're lucky, they'll simply exile you. If not, I'll see you in 20 years.
Are you going to berate me too? Try and talk me out of it? As I told my brother, if I cannot demonstrate the character I chastise others for lacking...
Sherry, I think this is something you will have to do yourself.
Myself? How do you mean?
All I ever did, all I ever wanted, was to protect you from what happened. And now you tell me I was wrong to try, that it was ego or hypocrisy to show a young boy kindness. But it was just empathy, creativity, and love for one's self. So please, please, Sherlock, don't do it.
Why can none of you see it? The truth is the truth. A murder is a murder. Tell me, John, why?
Because you're breaking my heart. I know. You've decided. I know. I just wish you hadn't.
I'm sorry, John. All these years we spent together, all the time I took for granted. You'll always be a part of me.
No, Sherry. That's the point. I don't think I will.
C'est un bug ou il va disparaître? C'est vraiment fait exprès? J'en sais rien. C'est pas clair. Sachant qu'on sait qu'il est imaginaire. Oui, je croyais qu'il a disparu. Et du coup, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Ok. Ah, on peut pas passer. Ouais, il y a Vogel qui va venir. Je croyais qu'on allait se balancer.
Why are you here? Closure, I suppose. And to help a friend. You and I are not friends.
Salaud, c'était le frère de Otto Richter.
Ha! Is that right? I can see it now.
Il a bien caché son jeu.
What did I do? You needled me. From the moment
Ah
we
voilà,
met,
je peux passer. Je
I was
passe.
prepared to take responsibility for my actions, but again my brother conspired against me. A little diplomatic pressure and the trial was dismissed. Instead, I was exiled from Cordona. Freedom never tasted so bitter. Another perversion of justice at Mycroft's hand. With no means, no home, and no purpose, I returned to London. I enrolled at Cambridge University, but few lectures held my
C'est
interest.
bien ficelé, on arrive toujours au même constat.
I prefer to spend time alone at the hospital laboratory.
Ouais. On arrive avec John Watson. On va voir ce qui se passe avec Otto. Il reste 2 décisions. Oula! Oh!
And what is that?
John Watson, merci. Générique. Générique? Non? Monsieur? Mais monsieur, je peux... Ah. Voilà. Allez. 3e fin. 22? Oui, 22, c'est ça. Réception for foot. Football. Hop. Hop. La folie. Non. Ah! Mère a été noyée par Otto Richter. Mycroft l'a accusé de meurtre, mais le doute subsiste sur l'aspect délibéré du crime. Otto a tué mère pour mettre fin à sa souffrance et me sauver la vie. Mycroft a dissimulé la vérité pour me protéger. On va voir ce que ça donne. Et après, il restera l'accident. C'est parti.
Sherlock. Sherlock. Can you hear me? Come on, wake up.
Get off me.
Sherry,
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
you couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
Otto Richter murdered my mother, and Mycroft covered it up. Whisked me away from this place, buried me in schoolwork, and left the past to rot.
And you needed a way to cope, so I helped.
You were a lie, John, a fiction, a crutch.
No, I was a friend.
Ouais, il y a 3 lignes de texte qui changent, c'est tout.
Please.
Sherlock,
What?
are you okay?
I don't know.
I told you not to come, Sherlock. Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this worth it? Is he worth it? Why is he here?
I think, in his own way, he was trying to protect me. A truth I couldn't bear. But now I must face it. You kept me in the dark, and kept your actions quiet. You enabled Richter and his untested quackery for far too long. Worse, you wanted to lock up our mother.
I wanted to give you a chance at normalcy, at childhood. There was no changing what happened, no good to come of dwelling in the past.
It was lies upon lies. Otto Richter killed our mother, and you kept it from me. You had no right. I deserved to know.
You deserved to live, Sherlock. In his twisted mind, he killed her for you. But you didn't need to bear the burden of his choice. You were so fragile. I could not... I just couldn't. I chose us over him.
You know, for once, I actually believe you. And perhaps, now that the truth is out, I can finally do what you had hoped. Leave it all in the past.
Good.
Et du coup, qu'est-ce qui va se passer?
You have your whole life ahead of you, Sherlock.
Bien sûr, je remets le micro en route, tout le monde m'écrit, alors que quand je coupe, personne ne fait rien. Est-ce qu'ils vont vivre une vie paisible? Est-ce que Klaus va se venger? Il va me tuer peut-être?
I was worried there for a minute, Sherry.
Qu'est-ce qui va se passer?
Really worried. I didn't want to hurt you. What's so funny?
I am talking to myself, John. I think I was hurt regardless.
But we made a good team, eh? Explored every inch of this place together. Helped a lot of people. Terrorized a few too, I suppose. I think I may go so far as to say, Sherry, that I have not lived wholly in vain.
So that's it. It's over.
You've opened every door, Sherry. Faced the past you locked away. You don't need me anymore.
I know. I will miss you all the same. I don't want you to go.
Yes, you do.
Goodbye, John.
Ok, et qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Vogel il va ramener le tableau, machin. Je pense que Werner il va rien faire de spécial. Hein. Je peux pas passer encore, oui. Il y a des moments où je peux pas passer. Et après ça, il nous reste la dernière fin.
Why are you here?
Closure, I suppose. And to help a friend.
You and I are not friends.
Ouais, c'est le même
In a race
texte.
between the thawing of the ice caps and our friendship, I would buy.
Est-ce que je laisse?
Is that
Est-ce
right?
que le tableau il change? Je pense pas.
I know what you did. What did I do? You needled me. From the moment we met, you were searching.
Je vais laisser, on sait
You
jamais.
pushed me to pursue the truth
J'aurais
about
dû
my
laisser
mother.
aussi, mais avant, mais
Questioned everything
je pense
I
que
did,
rien n'a
everything I
changé.
believed to break me.
Les textes là est le même.
Blur truth and fiction, reality,
Je pense que le
morality.
tableau sera le même.
Saboteur in silk.
Si le tableau est le même, pour la dernière phrase, je passerai aussi.
Or do you prefer Klaus? Excuse me?
Santa Claus,
You
c'est le Père
Klaus
Noël.
Richter, Otto's younger brother. Do you hold me responsible for his end?
Ha! There was no love lost between me and my brother. I am sure you can relate. Otto was merely the gravity that pulled me into your orbit. Or you into mine. Once I met you, I could not keep away.
Why? What reason do you have for
Hey,
all
dépêche.
this?
To help you.
You're lying.
To show you that you were wrong.
More lies. I know you now, Werner. Try again.
To see what had happened. Or is that yet another untruth? Does it matter? Take your pick. Who cares? You're my masterpiece. I turned Sisyphus into Ozymandias. You could not see the futility of your quest until I helped you to let go of the rock. And now, nothing beside remains.
I remain. Despite you and to spite you.
It is a matter of will and power now. Will you overcome this, or shall you decay? Oh, on that note, I brought you something.
I want
Une
nothing.
peinture de L de Death Note.
When one wants for nothing, Sherlock, the best thing to get them is something personal. So, here you are. Now, please excuse me, but the gallery calls. I'm already conceiving my next project.
Ouais, le texte c'est le même, je pense que le tableau sera le même. Effectivement. L de Death Note, incroyable.
After everything, Cordona felt hollow, cloying. I returned to London and joined Mycroft in his work for the Crown, but soon that too soured. He cannot abide me being right, or perhaps I cannot abide him being wrong. I left after 2 months. I enrolled at Cambridge University, though it proved similarly unsatisfying. The lectures were of limited interest. I am...
Ok, John. Et puis il reste la dernière fin. Est-ce que ça va devenir violet encore?
I found it! I found it! I found it!
Hop, dernière fin. Et puis je vais vous laisser là, YouTube et Twitch. C'était cool. Oh, je sais pas ce que je ferai la prochaine fois. Hein. J'ai pas de jeu de prévu. Faut que je me relance dans Street Fighter. Ce serait déjà une bonne chose. Ça va être compliqué. Ça fait longtemps que j'y ai pas joué. Gran Turismo, ça date aussi. Faut que je trouve un truc pour que mon câble d'allume il se barre pas trop, il bouge pas trop. Parce que des fois il bouge et du coup bah je perds le contrôle du volant et puis bah ma course elle est foutue quoi. Allez. Otto a tué mère en essayant de me sauver. La noyade était un accident. Et il a essayé d'effectuer une trachéotomie pour la sauver. Mycroft a dissimulé la vérité pour me protéger, accusé Otto a tort. Voyons voir ce qui se dit.
Sherlock. Sherlock. Can you hear me? Come on, wake up.
Get off me.
Sherry.
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
You couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
Otto Richter murdered my mother, and Mycroft covered it up. Whisked me away from this place, buried me in schoolwork, and left the past to rot.
And you needed a way to cope, so I helped.
You were a lie, John, a fiction, a crutch.
No, I was a friend.
Alors j'ai l'impression que c'est la même chose.
Please.
Que ce soit accidentel ou non.
What? Are you okay?
On verra ce qu'il dit sur le banc.
I told you not to come, Sherlock. Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this
John
worth
qui
it?
bug en 2
Is he
FPS.
worth it?
Incroyable.
Why is he here?
I think, in his own way, he was trying to protect me. A truth I couldn't bear. But now I must face it.
Quoi?
Sherlock?
Oh mon dieu, il va tuer son frère!
You kept me in the dark and kept your actions quiet. You enabled Richter and his untested quackery for far too long. And worse, you wanted to lock up our mother.
I wanted to give you a chance at normalcy, childhood. There was no changing what happened, no good to come of dwelling in the past.
It was lies upon lies. Otto Richter was trying to save her, but you decided he deserved to take the fall. Is that justice?
The big picture, Sherlock. The big picture. Perhaps Richter was not responsible for her fit of rage, but his treatment led inexorably to that moment. You were so fragile. I could not... I just couldn't. I chose us over him.
You know, for once I believe you. Perhaps now that the truth is out, I can actually do what you had hoped. Leave it all in the past.
Good. You have your whole life ahead of you, Sherlock. It is time you got on with it.
Bon, qu'est-ce qu'il va se dire sur le banc?
I was worried there for a minute, Sherry. Really worried. I didn't want to hurt you. What's so funny?
I am talking to myself, John.
Ouais,
I think I was hurt regardless.
But we made a good team, mate. Explored every
Ouais,
inch of
c'est
this
le même
place
dialogue.
together. Helped a lot of...
Qu'est-ce qui va se passer après? Pour qu'il aille à Cambridge. Il a bossé avec son bro. Qu'est-ce qu'il a fait? Après, il y a John Watson, tout ça. On connaît. Le son en décalé 4 fois, super.
Why are you here? Closure, I suppose.
Ça y est.
And to help a friend.
My brother returned to London soon after our disagreement. He enrolled at Cambridge University, but attends only the rare classes that hold his interest. I hear he took employment at a hospital laboratory, obsessing over his
Ah,
experiments.
c'est...
I suppose he seeks solace in the empirical truth of a chemical test. I am afraid for him.
Mycroft qui
His evenings are spent alone, solving citizens' menial mysteries to pass the
nous
time.
raconte ça.
And I suspect he is growing paranoid. One of my agent's vehicles recently ignited during a surveillance operation. She was lucky to get out alive. There is only one man who could orchestrate such a feat. Or perhaps two.
Moriarty?
I saved my brother. He will never forgive me.
C'est vrai qu'on n'a pas vu Moriarty. Et John Watson. Et c'est fini. C'est fini. On a fini le jeu vidéo.
I found it! I found it!
Merci YouTube. Merci Twitch. Et à une prochaine pour je sais pas quel jeu, on verra. Un jour peut-être je ferai un autre jeu. Peut-être des courses de Gran Turismo, on verra bien. Merci. Au revoir.